Hello and welcome to another A-Star to G briefing. Now, a few weeks ago I made a post about whiteboard markers and I made a little animation to show how good they were. Today we're going to look at how I made that animation and think about how animation could be used in the classroom. I can remember making animation when I was at school in the 1970s, and I think the teacher was inspired by Terry Gilliam and Monty Python, and we used a cine camera and a big heavy tripod, and we made something on the theme of journeys. I can remember the film camera and the tripod and how we sat on chairs and animated ourselves across the school field. We then had to wait 2 weeks to get the film processed, and it didn't work out too well in the end, but it was good fun. Well, digital cameras are a standard piece of every teacher's kit these days. You probably have one handy to record learners' work and achievements, and you don't need to spend hundreds of pounds on digital cameras anymore. These are actually a couple of quite cheaper old ones. Most have got a tripod socket in the bottom. There you go. So you can attach it to a tripod and keep it fixed. And some have even got a remote control so that you can take a photograph without touching the camera. The film I did using the whiteboard markers, I actually used a computer to take the photographs, attached a computer to the camera and pressed the spacebar. But it doesn't matter what you get, they're all fine. It doesn't really matter about the megapixels either. If you're going to project it as a final product or post it on the internet, it doesn't need to be in high definition. You can happily use a camera with less than 5 megapixels. And you're going to take hundreds of shots as well. So setting the quality slider to low means you can get a lot more photos on your memory card. Something to think through. Now, when you take the photo on a digital camera, it automatically saves the photo with a number. And that number increases with every shot you take. You take shot 1, then you take shot 2, and so on. And you'll take hundreds of shots. Well, animation, of course, is taking loads of individual shots and then playing them back as a movie. Now, if there are usually 25 shots in a second's worth of animation, that would be 1,500 shots in a minute. Well, most old school animation, actually, they would shoot 2 frames for every image. So you can think of it these days as taking 12 shots in every second. So that's only 720 frames for a minute. It's getting a bit more manageable. And the animation of the whiteboard that I shot, I actually took 10 shots for every second. So it's 42 seconds long, 420 shots. Actually, I only took 390 photos because I did loop a little bit. So a lesson and a half, about an hour and a half to do that animation. Now, all of the animation software these days allow you to import photos. The software will just ask you where photo 1 is, if you like, and you just drag them in, or it will go and find photo 1 to 700. I used QuickTime 7 Pro. It's £20 on a Mac. And it just asks you how many photos per second, and it saves a movie for you. There's pretty much nothing else to do. But you can get free software online, or you can get stuff like iStop or even Windows Movie Maker. All allow you to make movies out of photos. So let's think about the curriculum. What's the point? Well, animation is a way of consolidating knowledge. If you want the learners to understand longshore drift, for example, well, make an animation of it. If you want the learners to know the stages of cell mitosis, make an animation. Want them to understand the water cycle, or the journeys of Columbus, or the phases of the moon. Pretty much anything can be consolidated by making an animation. It could be an activity of the gifted and talented learners, or vice versa. You can get the learners who need a little bit more consolidation to spend time doing the animation, and that way they'll engage more with it and get it into their heads. A class can be split, of course, into groups to take the photos. You can have 5 or 6 cameras, 5 or 6 tripods all set up, and then produce a movie from all of those different animations that are produced. Some learners, for example, might want to engage with the content, while you can actually set others to do the titles and the credits and even the soundtrack. And after a 2 or 3 lesson experience, they might have a finished movie where that knowledge is consolidated and they've all really participated and taken part in it. There are some classic methods you can use, of course. The whiteboard animation I did is one. It's a classic, it's easy to do, and it's straightforward and quite simple. Good place to start. Claymation is another one, using plasticine or blue tack, for example. You could use coloured sweets like Skittles or Lego, and of course drawing. You can of course do drawing if you're that patient. Well, consider using backgrounds as well, such as maps and posters, or even just do it on a green screen and then impose other images for the background later on in your movie package. iMovie, for example, allows you to put pretty much anything on a green screen. You don't have to be good at art for this. The kids will come up with their solutions to the task. So make an animation on the subject of odd and even using Lego bricks. Give them that as the task brief, and away they'll go. They'll come up with some solutions for it. It can be really, really good fun. Anyway, let us know how you get on. Do make some animations, post them, put them on YouTube, let other schools see them. I think they can be really entertaining. Let us know how you get on, and we'll see you next week on the next A Star to G.